Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is Star Wars number 42, and it's the first Star Wars comic that I've gotten in a very long time. I actually have the first issue of this series, which came out in 2015, so I'm kind of proud about that. But I never really followed up with it. I got the first issue, and it was interesting. I just never went back to buy issue 2 and didn't follow up with it. So I do kind of feel bad about that because um, it does seem to be a good series, and I enjoyed issue 42. So maybe I'll have to get back into it. I did also buy the let me grab them here. Shattered Empire storyline that came out shortly before The Force Awakens, and I actually need to go back and reread this series because it was really good, if I remember it correctly. It's about Poe Dameron's parents, and it's a 4 issues series about that, and so yeah, for those of you that didn't know, Poe's mom knew Luke Skywalker. So if you didn't know that, now you do. So anyway, I'm gonna uh, go ahead and get to the review. So I really enjoyed this story. It's part 5 in the Ashes of Jeddah storyline. I think it might be. I think there's one issue after this. I think 43 finishes up this storyline. But anyway, they're on Jeddah. So for those of you that remember Rogue One, that was the planet that the entire uh, Rogue One crew died on, sadly. Um, so anyway, this is after the events of Rogue One, and now Leia, Luke, and Han are all back on Jeddah, and they're trying to keep the Empire from harvesting the Kyber crystals, which are used in lightsabers, and also, if I remember correctly, they also power the Death Star. So anyway, Chewie just got back from a mission, and he found out some information. I think he got the plans to the Leviathan, which is this big monster fortress. So anyway, now Luke and Leia are going to go try to take down the Leviathan while Chewie and Han provide a distraction. So right off the bat, we get a very classic Star Wars story, and it just feels very much like this happened in the Star Wars universe. That is one issue that I am having with the new trilogy, like Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Some aspects of it just it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It just doesn't feel like it took place in the universe that George Lucas created. Um, so this does, and I really like that about this. The art is kind of interesting. I haven't decided if I like it yet or not. So basically, they kind of the artist, who is um, Salvador La Roca. Uh, he basically took pictures or screenshots. At least this is what it looks like. That is one thing. I'm a writer, not an artist. I've always had a knack for writing, but I am terrible when it comes to art. So I really don't have much room to talk when it comes to art. I'm much better at critiquing stories. But anyway, the art is interesting. So it's kind of like he took a picture of the the actors, in the movie, and then just kind of pasted it over a body that he drew, and then he just kind of colored it a little bit more, faded it out. It wasn't as sharp as an actual picture, so it looks a little bit more comic booky, if that makes sense. um, but anyway, it's still cool because it kind of feels like you're watching a Star Wars movie. It's just sometimes, like here, it just can look a little off because, like, the rest of it is clearly drawn, and this looks like it's just kind of been stuck on top of that body. But anyway, besides that, I really did like this um, comic, as I've said. So this is my favorite 2 pages of the entire book. So they're getting ready to go on the mission to sneak aboard the Leviathan, and they're talking about what happened to Rogue One. So this is Luke and a character named Ubin. So Ubin says, "I'm sorry, Chuklo was a good man, Luke." And Luke says, "He was, but it's easy to stop being a good man, Ubin. That's what happens when you lose track of ourselves. What matters? I've been thinking about Jin and the rest of Rogue One. How many things went wrong for them? And Rogue One took whatever steps they needed. People making distractions, sacrificing themselves, amping up the signal, all improvised. This chain of sacrifice, all leading to me taking that shot." So Luke is talking about when he blew up the Death Star. So he's talking about, all the events. It's kind of overwhelming him how many people died for him to be able to take that shot, which is really interesting. You don't really think about it, and it was a great way to tie Rogue One in with A New Hope, which Rogue One already did a fantastic job of doing with that excellent last scene with Darth Vader and CGI Carrie Fisher. But anyway, this connects the 2 movies even more, and it was really awesome. So he goes on to say, "I'm glad I didn't know. I have no idea what I'd have done with all that extra pressure. I mean, I even turned off the targeting computer." And Ubin's like, "You did a what?" And it looks like, "Yeah, scariest thing I ever did. I just knew it was the right thing to do. If I had really understood how many people had died to put me in that place, would I have done it?" "You'd have done it. You're a hero. It's what you do." Except in The Last Jedi when he turns into a pansy. But anyway, I shouldn't spoil. I shouldn't ruin the comic like that. But yeah, this was just a really nice scene. Very good writing here, and it made Luke feel like an actual person. He's like, I would have been under so much pressure had I known what all had happened. I probably would have missed the shot. So, and then Ubin goes on and says, "You need to understand, all those people who died to put you in that place to have the shot, they had no idea you're going to be there. They just hoped you would. They trusted someone to finish it after they were gone." And then Leia comes in and is like, "She's right, Luke." So yeah, this is just my favorite part of the whole comic, and it just was very powerful and meaningful, and just kind of gets you thinking more about like the rebellion and the chain of events that led up to the explosion of the Death Star. So, the rebels that died on Rogue One, they didn't even know Luke was going to be there. We all kind of, because we've already seen episode 4, we're like, well, we already know what happens. But if you think about it, the crew of Rogue One had no clue that what they did was actually going to change anything. They were just hoping it was. And so this is like a very good story of hope here, which is what Star Wars is all about. And it just was put into very good words here. Very excellent writing. So anyway, I'm going to keep going. So they sneak onto the Leviathan, which that's just an awesome drawing right there. It looks so cool. So they hid in these crates, and they're in, basically. So again, very classic Star Wars, almost cliche, but it's okay. It's very classic, and I like that. So yeah, they're sneaking around. Oh yeah, here's a big 2-page advertisement for Marvel Comics. Um, this will probably be my next review. I got that one, and yeah, that was actually pretty good. But yeah, that'll probably be the next review. Um, here we have the Captain America, and the rest of these I have not read, and I'm not going to. So anyway, then we get this scene with a couple people from the Empire and the Queen of Jeddah, apparently, and she's helping out the Empire. So yeah, they're just talking, and then we get this scene with Han, and it's a pretty cool scene. So basically, they're trying to get these rebel soldiers onto the Millennium Falcon so they can be ready to take off, and they're ambushed by Imperials. And again, I really don't have any room to be talking about the art, but I don't know. There were just some things in here that I thought they could have done better. But again, typical stormtroopers. Sorry for the glare, by the way. Can't hit anything. So yeah, they start shooting back at the Imperials. They take off. They all escape pretty much unharmed. I think somebody got shot in the arm or something. But anyway, Luke's getting ready to go shut down the Leviathan, and Leia's like, "You're 1 in a billion, Luke. Be careful." So yeah, the Millennium Falcon still flying away, taking care of some of the injured passengers. So yeah, the book gets a little bit more boring the longer it goes. Like, it started off really strong with that scene, but not much else really happens. I guess this is kind of important. Chewie is trying to talk Han into leading the group of rebels instead of Ubin, who's injured, I think. So yeah, it is a nice scene between Chewie and Han. Very classic. Again, that looks like I feel like I've seen that in Star Wars before. That exact pose. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but anyway. So yeah, they're, Han's like, well, I can't. I'm not your leader. I'm your partner. And she was like, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the entire crew. So anyway, Chewie ends up convincing Han, and he's like, all right, guys, Ubin, I'm sorry, but you've made too many bad calls this last week. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do things my way, and the Imperials will pay. Sorry, and we may even get out of here to tell tall stories about it afterwards. So, they're kind of bringing in the swashbuckler side of Han into this. And then somebody gets a little salty and is like, "You're just the pilot." And Han goes, "No, I'm the captain." I did like that. That was a good scene. Very cool. Very Han Solo. I really hope, they keep this style of Han Solo for the Solo movie. Like, I'm 50-50. I want to be super excited about that movie, but I'm also very, like, I hope they don't mess it up. So, yeah, I'm getting a little short on time here, but my last video was over 15 minutes, so hopefully this will upload just fine. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, he's like, I guess I'm the captain now. I am the captain now. Captain Phillips reference there. So anyway, moving on, Luke gets to the Leviathan mainframe, I guess, the heart of it. He takes out a couple Imperials, and then awesome action stance here. He's like, you can't shoot my friends. Put your weapons down now. Because they were getting ready to launch an attack on the rebels again. So yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, okay. So he did end up calling the attack on the rebels, I guess without Luke knowing it, or he's like, I just don't care. We're calling the attack. So they land, but the Imperials are waiting for them. And they're ambushed again. And again, this is, again, an art critique, which I don't really have any room to be talking about, but okay, you see this pose right here? They literally just like cut this out and pasted it up here. So this is them fighting, and then this is Leia looking at a screen. It makes it seem like it's a couple seconds later, so they should be in a different pose than they are here. I don't know, I guess we can assume it was, like, she looked at it at the exact moment Imperial started firing on Han. I guess we can assume that. But, like, if you're going with the flow, everything's kind of happening one thing after another. It's kind of weird when two things happen at the same time. So it seems like they should be in a different pose, and they're not. But that just might be how it was meant to be. Anyway. So yeah, we wrap up. I really hope this thing doesn't get a copyright strike, because I think I've showed pretty much every page, but I'm still pretty small on here, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, the Queen ambushes Leia, and next issue we'll see what happens. I think I'll pick it up because I want to see what happens. And then the newest issue that just came out is starting another story arc, I guess. So that'll be interesting. Anyway, I really liked this book, especially the first few pages. They were excellent. If you're a fan of Rogue One, shout out to Faith, you would definitely like this book. And I'm really interested to see where it goes from here. And isn't that such a cool cover? Very dynamic. You know, a lot of covers these days are kind of low class, especially Marvel covers. But it seems like Star Wars is able to break free kind of from the Marvel shadow. Sometimes Marvel still gets their hands in things, but for the most part, I'd say Star Wars is still kind of free from them, which is good. So anyway, that is going to do it for the video. Oh, I did want to show this to you guys. I picked this up the other day, and this is just so cool. So this is Lego Darth Vader, the buildable figure. And I picked it up because it just looks so cool. And you can actually take his helmet off, and it's like the burned Anakin Skywalker face. So cool. It's like a foot tall when it's all built. And I'm just super excited to build this thing. I'm having a hard time like actually digging into it, because I do kind of just like setting it up like this. But I picked it up because, first off, you know, I'm a big fan of Star Wars and Lego, and I like supporting both. So when they come out with something super awesome like this, I just gotta have it. And also I was like, man, I haven't built a Lego in ages. I want to do that again. So I picked this up at Walmart. It's kind of pricey, $35, but I mean, look at that. That is just so cool. So anyway, I might do a video of like me building it. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Go get this comic if you're a Star Wars fan and you want a good Star Wars story, because this delivers for sure. And I'll be coming out with another video shortly. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.